Team, I want you to start paying attention to the people that you hang around with. Just be aware because sometimes the people that we hang out with or we talk with, they appear to be very nice and we don't really recognize or realize when they're just no good for us. So I'm going to talk about a few things. I think I'm going to talk about four things to recognize or four types of people to recognize or four actions that these people do to let you know that, hey, you really got to have your eyes open. There's some red flags here. My name is Mel. Welcome to Team U Finance. Here we talk about leveling up. We talk about self growth. If this is the first time you're joining me, please comment, like, subscribe, and share after watching this video. Okay, the first person that I want to talk about is the person that does dry begging. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with what dry begging is when you're talking with somebody, or you're talking to a constant complainer. And the only thing that they do is they keep talking about their bills. They keep talking about projects that they have to do. They keep talking about their expenses. And they keep saying, oh, you know, uh, I got to pay my light bill or I got to pay my rent. But, I didn't get my check yet. And, when I finally get my check, it might not be enough to cover this. In other words, while you're listening to their problems, they're basically trying to get you to offer them money or trying to guilt you into giving them some type of financial assistance. That's what the dry beggar does. So the dry beggar doesn't necessarily come out and say, hey, listen, I have to pay this bill or that bill, and I need you to spot me some money. Or I need to borrow some money from you. They basically prey or play on your emotions or your listening ear to try to get money from you. That's what a dry beggar does. And a dry beggar, although they might appear nice or they might appear sweet, it's basically a con artist. But you don't want to think that it's a con artist because many times a dry beggar is your friend or a family member or even your significant other. But they try to basically extort money from you by telling you things without actually coming out and begging and saying, hey, can I get this type of money or can I get this amount of money from you? So you got to be careful of the dry beggar. They're there, they exist, and they play on your emotions because the dry beggar believes that you have a lot of money and they just want to try to get some of your money, but they don't want to appear as if they're begging, but they really are begging you. Okay. The next person or the next type of people that you should be aware of is the people that make these phony promissory notes with you. And what I mean by promissory note, like, let's say, for example, like, you go in a bank or you're taking out some type of loan anywhere, and, they always make you sign. Basically, it's a promise that you're going to pay them back. Right. A lot of times, I remember when I was in college and I would take out student loans, I would always have to sign my mastery promissory note because, again, the government wanted to ensure that you was going to pay their money back. But I'm talking about a promissory note where if somebody comes to borrow money from you and they basically promise that they're going to pay you back. And again, it's an imaginary promissory note. It's a promise to pay. Now, this happened a few times. Maybe you loaned them money 1, 2, 3 times before. And to this day, as I'm making this video, they have not paid you back because they ensured, again, they played on your emotions and they made that fake promissory note that they were going to pay you back. But they never, ever paid you back. They never gave you that money. Or even if they did attempt to give you back that money, they probably gave it to you in bits and pieces. And they say, okay, I'm going to give it to you. I promise that I'm going to pay you back by such date. Please don't let anybody give you fake, phony, non-tangible promissory notes. Okay? They promise to pay, but they do not pay you back. And they don't pay you back for one reason. Number one, because they're selfish, they're mean. And number two, they believe that you don't need your money. So this is why they give you those fake promises or those fake beliefs that they're going to eventually pay you back. But they never pay you back. So get out of the habit of doing fake promissory notes with people, with these con artists. Another person that you should be aware of that, basically takes from you without you actually recognizing it, because again, this is a form of manipulation, is the plain out con artist. Plain out con artists will come to you and tell you about these harebrained schemes. Now, what is ironic about these harebrained schemes is that they themselves will never invest in it, they've never done it, or they never did it. But they want you to invest your hard-earned money into those schemes. Okay. So, for example, they might come and say to you, hey, listen, there's a new way to buy investment properties. And right now they're looking for the first 10 people to put some money down. And I think this would be a good opportunity for you to do because I know that you are an entrepreneur. I know that you want to get into the game of real estate. That's just an example of how they might try to con you. Now, again, being that they knew your business and they know your passion, they play on your emotions. But the question that you should ask them when they come with that harebrained scheme or any form of scheme is like, did you invest in it? Did you do it? Are you going to try it? Again, people, if this is the first time you're joining me, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Mel from Team U Finance, where we talk about all things finance and leveling up. So back to today's tips. When the con artist comes and tells you to invest in things that they would never or they haven't invested in you, again, you have to open your eyes, you have to listen, and you got to basically question them and ask them what their take is on it or did they invest in it. So I'm going to give you a quick story time. Now, being a homeowner, there's many benefits and incentives for homeowners. Every year, you get things in the mail. Nowadays, it's emails, a little incentives that they give back for being a homeowner. So I always emphasize, getting that first home because the benefits and the pluses that you get as a homeowner, they're just absolutely wonderful. There are a lot of blessings. Back to the story time. I remember someone called me, and to me, it's as if they were trying to con me. They weren't trying. It wasn't as if they were trying to. They were trying to con me because, again, they think you're gullible because you don't really say much. And a person said to me, they said, "Listen, right now in the state that you live, because they lived in a different state, they said in the state that you live, they're giving away money if you sign up for a certain program." And I said, well, what's the program? The program that they mentioned, I do know the program. It's a legitimate program for homeowners. And every year it comes out and you sign your paperwork and you get whatever benefit you're supposed to get. Anyway, they said, listen, I'm going to put you on the phone with somebody else. Let them tell you about the program. Person got on the phone. And when the person got on the phone with me, because again, you have to listen to these jokers. You don't just cut the cord. You got to listen because you got to see where their head is at. You got to know how to circumvent and go around it when they come with the nonsense. So the person said to me, they said, listen, the state that you live, remember, they live in a different state. The state that you live, they're giving away a certain amount of money for homeowners. And I said, okay. I said, what do you have to do? I said, what's the name of the program? Because before I do anything, I need to investigate. I need to do a little research. I got to do my due diligence. Because again, I'm not going to waste my hard-earned time and money on a harebrained scheme. So the person told me the name of the program, which there is a legitimate program by that name because it's a program that I've benefited from. But what they were trying to get me to do, or they were trying to sell to me, I wasn't buying it. This con artist went as far as asking me for my social security number. Now, we don't give our government to anybody. In the age of identity theft, fraud, credit card fraud, any type of fraud, mortgage fraud, we don't give our government to anybody like that. Okay? We're even skeptical about giving the last 4 digits, much less the whole 9 digits of the social security number. In any event, the person said to me, I'm going to need your social and I'm going to need your mailing address so I could put you into the program. So again, I listened and I'm just like, okay, is this joker for real? Like, are you kidding me? But again, you don't make them any wiser. You just listen. You play the fool. So I listened and I said to them, I said, okay. I said, all right, hold on a moment. Let me get a pen and paper. Let me write down the name of this program because I want to check into it before I sign up with you. And of course, in the whole time that they're talking, I mean, I already spot the red flag. I wasn't going to sign up no how. But anyway, it was a fraud. This was a fraudulent person trying to run a scam on me. And of course, it didn't work because I knew right away that it was fraudulent. And how did I knew it was fraudulent? Why are you asking me for my social security number? Why do you need my mailing address? Why do you want those things? In any event, after speaking with that person, the original person that tried to institute the fraud, I got on the phone with them and I said to them, I said, have you done the program? And the person says, oh, no, it doesn't work in my state. So I said to them, I said, there are no homeowners in your state? Oh, yeah, there is. But I'm just saying, from what I hear, you could easily make more money in your state. So this is why I was trying to get you to do the program. Absolute nonsense. It was a fraud. They were scandalous. They were fraudulent. They were just trying to con me. Okay. But again, being the vigilant person that I am and being able to discern, I knew right away that this was a fraud. And what was so horrible about it was this is somebody that I knew and I took as an associate, not a friend. Because as I always said in prior videos, friendship is a really big title to give to people. You don't give everybody those titles because a dear friend is far and few in between. What was touching about it is that this person that I took as an associate that I was getting to know was trying to con me. They were trying to con me. They were trying to, work on my emotions. They knew that, that I love investing, anything to do with money. I love anything to do with financial growth. And they were going to use that to con me. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you don't let people play on your emotions. You don't let them know sometimes what it is that you like because they'll try to con you. And the bottom line is that they thought I was just stupid. They thought I was stupid. That's why they were trying to con me. But as I said, by the grace of God and my discernment, I didn't fall for that scam. So those are some of the people that you have to kind of stay away from. People that come as friends, but they're literally con artists. They want you to sign up for things and participate in things or events or activities that cost you money that they themselves would never, ever, ever even entertain. And those are what we call con artists. We call them scammers. Okay. They work and prey on your emotions when they try to steal money from you. I also want to talk about the people that you might be, close with, or you might hang out with them sometimes. And the one thing that they do is every single time that you're with them, all they do is just talk about everybody else. They talk about what other people's wearing. They talk about other people's jobs. They talk about other people's cars. They talk about other people's significant other. They talk about other people's looks. Anything that they could get their hands or their eyes on to talk about, they talk about. People like those are jealous and envious people. They're envious because they resent others. And because they resent others, their way to satisfy or to even address that envy is to talk bad about everybody. Listen, if I'm out hanging out with you and every person that walks by, or if I'm on the phone with you and everybody that we know or and you just keep talking bad about them, that's an automatic red flag that you are a very jealous person. Because you envy everybody else's success and accomplishments, what have you, it now turns into jealousy. Because what is jealousy? Jealousy is envy, which prides to resentment. You resent everybody else, so therefore you're jealous of everybody else's accomplishments and their success. You want to stay away from those types of people. People like those don't mean you're no good. They're jealous of you, even though they're friends with you or they might socialize or associate with you. They're jealous of you too. Because think about it. If they're talking bad about other people's accomplishments, other people's come ups, why would they not talk about yours? So it's just a word that came to me to say, listen, we don't entertain people that dry beg. We don't entertain people that are just plain on con artists. We don't entertain people that give fake promissory notes. And we don't entertain people that basically talk about everybody. Those are some red flags. They're not good and they're not going to work out, or they're not going to do things that are good for you. Okay? Beautiful people, as I said before, I've written an ebook, 10 Steps to Level Up Your Money. It's a quick, easy read and an easy download. These are things that I've used to try to level up or try to come up as I'm still working on it. Every day, is a stepping stone. My parents used to tell me in life that you got to crawl before you walk. So at this point, I'm still crawling, trying to stand up straight, but I'm getting there. By the grace of God, I'm blessed. So, if you get a chance or you get a moment, pick up a copy of 10 Steps to Level Up. Beautiful people, team, I thank you for investing your time with me today. I thank you for listening. Remember, you're number one. Don't let anybody con you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.